That's why I made this video, is because we're talking about and thinking about, and we're a little bit conflicted. You know, we could do this, tiny house thing. Maybe we should build a tiny house in Ecuador, or maybe we should build a tiny house in Poland, or maybe we should build a tiny house in Ecuador and Poland, you know. But, and what else? And maybe even in North America, why not? And you may see us traveling between these three places, or maybe even other places, maybe even Japan. But there's so much going on in the world right now, and things are constantly changing.
She needs a little bit of help up the mountain, up the little hill. Daddy'll help her.
Hello, welcome to Frank and Angie's channel, where we discuss the retire early lifestyle, whether it's at home or abroad. Thanks for coming to our channel. You know, we're really conflicted because, and I've talked a lot about this in previous videos where we discussed RAM magazine, Retire Abroad Media and magazine, and their followers and such, and how it's all contrived, and you know, and they just funnel all of this traffic for an agenda, for a money agenda. And so I wanted to say that within that context, there is still a thought that you would pick this spot here on the map and retire there. And we've gotten away from that kind of thinking years ago, and you saw us go to Poland recently, and especially after this pandemic hit, or should I say epidemic hit, it becomes apparent that we start thinking about even more options, and that is, why not a tiny house in Ecuador out in the country? There's a lot of people that are doing this now, going out into the country, and we've been observing foreigners come into these poor countries and building big huge houses, you know, in the hundreds of thousands. And of course, you know, a lot of it is profit motivated, and a lot of it is from the RAM thing, live like a king, you know. But we've discussed how that's really a really bad idea to go to a poor country and do things like that, because it just makes you a target. And of course, when you're the only guy saying that, you know, you're just a lonely voice in the wind, and everybody's just scoffing at you. And then when bad things happen to them, it's like, oh my gosh, the guy was right on that video, you know. My point being that this is not about small finances, okay? It's not about small finances. That's why you should build, you know, a tiny house, and you guys that have more finances, you know, oh, click off, you know, oh, we got money, we don't need a tiny house. The tiny house achieves the safety and security. That's why I made this video, is because we're talking about and thinking about, and we're a little bit conflicted. You know, we could do this tiny house thing. Maybe we should build a tiny house in Ecuador, or maybe we should build a tiny house in Poland, or maybe we should build a tiny house in Ecuador and Poland, you know, and maybe even in North America. Why not? There's a school of thought, and this is back from prior to the pandemic, is the US is bad. And you know what? I was just watching some movie trailers, and there's this boat going down this huge river, and they're at the edge of a waterfall, and the lady says, I can't swim. And he's like, what, you just thought of that now? You got on a boat in this river? The point is, the USA has been going downhill in this river for many years, and now they're at the edge of a huge waterfall falling off, and along comes this man, this president, and is trying to put the brakes on that, okay? You know, the US has been going downhill for many years, but I see it as the other side of this coin, is that this has actually woken up a lot of people, and there's a lot of people that have woke up. So North America is not excluded at this point in time, in our opinion. You know, things could change very quickly, but it could be North America, which we left. It could be Ecuador, it could be Poland, and you may see us traveling between these three places, or maybe even other places, maybe even Japan. But there's so much going on in the world right now, and things are constantly changing. What I want to point out to you in this video is exactly that things are constantly changing, and there's a lot of gurus on YouTube that are still putting out the same agenda that they're putting out the same solutions that they were discussing prior to that pandemic. And we're saying that things have changed and things are different and they're not quite the same, and people should really start getting serious about some of these issues. And if it takes building a tiny house to do it, then maybe that's the way we should do it.
So we might have a tiny house in the US, in Poland, and in Ecuador.
Lord willing.
How much fun!
Lord willing, or it could be that maybe we need to stop traveling because of the way things are going.
We don't know what's going to happen.
Our hope and prayer is that by our videos we can help people to think about what's happening in relation to their retire early lifestyle, because let's face it, in a free society, you know, if you're diligent enough to figure out how to live the retire early lifestyle at an early age like we did, then you should have the ability and the right to do so. And I say the right carefully because, you know, that's a different video. Under the circumstances, though, with what was going on with our surroundings, it causes us to kind of rethink maybe some of the things that we were doing. For example, we've loved and enjoyed world travel, and it was one of the things we wanted on our bucket list. So we never wanted to really actually just plant it in one spot. I mean, yes, we wanted to develop a base. We have family here in Ecuador and all that, but we still wanted to travel. But now it's just we're conflicted because, okay, should we build a tiny house in Poland? Should we build a tiny house in North America? You know, should we build a house in USA, in Ecuador? Should we do all three? Should we just stay in one spot? So that's what's going on. We thought we'd let you know. Let us know what your thoughts are. I know there's a lot of people right now that are in the same boat where they're just kind of wondering, gee whiz, I don't know, things are kind of crazy right now and there's so many different things going on, and this idea that people should submit to, you know, that healthy people have to prove they're healthy. That's just nonsense. It's, again, it's
very
not
much
factual,
so.
It's not historical, it's not scientific or medical. It's like Panama has had the harshest lockdown of any of them. You know, 8 months state of emergency. Are you kidding me? And even so, they had mandatory masks outdoors, right? And yet they say that they had a justification, right, based on numbers, for extending this lockdown. Well, then your solutions weren't working, because if they were working, you wouldn't have had to extend. And yet I'm saying all that to say that they just now, recently, October, say that they're going to open up the airports, right? Well, yeah, sure. Oh, hey, you know what? We'll open up the airports, but you're going to have to provide a test and prove that you're healthy. You know, and it's like healthy people having to prove they're healthy. No, that's backwards. People that are sick should be encouraged to stay away from other people. It's that simple. Healthy people don't and shouldn't have to do anything. So, but you know, the waters get muddied.
They
People
sure
come
do.
up with all these nonsensical articles that aren't based on any kind of facts, science, and real information. So anyway, that one's in English. Well, part of it. All right, so take a look, keep calm, and if you have any influenza symptoms, don't be alarmed. Keep calm, don't be alarmed, right? It's influenza. Stay home and call 1500 or your medic doctor. Now, that's a very nice idea. I think people do that anyway, but I do see sick people that go around, and they really should heed this sign. And remember, the sign is not for those that are not sick. So we're already calm, and we're already not alarmed, and we already aren't worried about anything. It's always been about the people that are sick, not the people that are not sick. And so this is a great encouragement to those that are ill to stay home. That's always been a good idea. All right, there you have it. You know where we stand on that, and our opinions are based, they're factual, historical, scientific, and if you want to do the research, we encourage you to do so, but we will not get into arguments. Everyone has different perspective and opinions based on where they're at. The thing is that this day and age, social media, it's kind of a pot where it just invites arguments, and it isn't necessary. All you got to do is just post the facts, and then you know who's willfully ignorant and who actually wants to know the truth. Yeah, we hate the idea that all of this bureaucratic imposition and barriers are imposed on healthy people that in a normal world should be free to travel with responsibility, obviously. Living in a free society, right? A free society allows people to take personal responsibility for their own actions.
Well, that's what my mom is doing. She's 84 years old, and she has stayed quarantined this whole time instead of making the world lock down. She says it's silly for these people to not be able to go to work, but the elderly should stay indoors like I am.
Well, and I have people that say, oh, I have a grandma. Well, guess what? We all have grandmas.
Yes, we do.
Most of us do anyway. And
we have old parents and
I would protect my grandparents, but I would not impose. If I didn't know any better, I might think that that's the thing to do, impose nonsensical demands on healthy people. But when you know better, right? When you know better, and I encourage everyone to do their research and be the one that knows better, and be open-minded enough to say, you know what? When there's a disagreement, it means maybe I don't know everything. Instead of arguing, well, look, there's a difference in opinion here. Maybe there's something more to know about this, right? Okay? So, but when your discourse is based on fear and this kind of thing, so we like to expose the irrational emotion, the fear part, and help people maybe see through some of the smoke screen. Thanks for staying with all that, and let us know in the comments where you're at, and thanks for coming to our channel, and have a nice day.